I'm here today in a great city. I've been waiting to come here for years, and I finally got a chance. And one of the reasons that IVA wanted to come here is because there's an amazing architect who lives and works here named John. And John is a leading figure in a field that we often talk about here, which is architectural minimalism. Minimalism as a concept has been around for a long time. But when it comes to architecture, we tend to think of it as being about stripping design down to its bare essentials: clean lines, natural light, purposeful simplicity, a rejection of ornament and excess. These are all hallmarks of architectural minimalism. If you follow this channel, you know that we love this style of architecture. It's close to our own aesthetic, and we're always looking for ways to incorporate these ideas into our own designs. The first thing that really struck me was how well the architecture fit into the landscape. The house seems to be an extension of the natural world around it. There's a lot of wood used both inside and out, and this really helps to blur the line between the built environment and the natural environment. Also, the use of natural materials like stone and concrete really helps to integrate the building into its surroundings. It doesn't feel like a stark contrast between the man-made structure and the natural world. Instead, it feels like they're in harmony with each other. Another thing that stood out to me is the attention to detail. Every little piece of this house is carefully considered, from the placement of windows to the way that light falls through them, to the type of wood that was used for the floors. Everything has a purpose. You can tell that a lot of thought and care went into every aspect of the design. This is something that we really admire and try to emulate in our own work. We believe that even the smallest details matter and can make a big difference in the overall design. But perhaps the most striking thing about this house is the sense of calm and tranquility that it exudes. When you walk into any room, you feel like you can breathe easy. The space is open and uncluttered. There's not a lot of stuff to distract you, and this really allows you to relax and enjoy the moment. We've always found that when we create clean, simple spaces like this, people respond to them very positively. They feel good in these spaces. They feel like they can recharge and they can be themselves. That's the goal, isn't it? To create spaces that people can connect with on a deeper level, places where they can feel at peace. So let us take a closer look at some of the key elements of the design and see what we can learn from them. First, let's talk about the color palette. As you can see, it's pretty simple. There's a lot of white and grey used throughout the house, but there are also some pops of color here and there. For example, the front door is a bold red, which is a nice contrast to the rest of the house. But even though there are some pops of color, for the most part, the color palette is pretty muted. This allows the focus to stay on the architecture itself, rather than being distracted by bright colors or bold patterns. In our own work, we love to use a similar color palette. It's clean, it's sophisticated, and it allows the space to feel calm and serene. Of course, sometimes clients want a little bit more color in their homes, and that's fine, but we always try to encourage them to go for more muted tones and natural materials. That's what creates those calm, inviting spaces that we all crave. Next, let's talk about the materials used in the house. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of wood used throughout, but there's also a lot of concrete and stone. All of these materials have a certain rawness to them that really contributes to the overall aesthetic of the house. They feel natural and authentic. It's clear that a lot of thought went into the selection of the materials. Each one was chosen for its unique qualities and how it would interact with the other materials in the space. For example, the wood floors were chosen for their warmth and natural beauty. The concrete walls were chosen for their durability and clean aesthetic. And the stone fireplace was chosen for its raw, natural texture. The materials aren't just functional, they're also beautiful, and they tell a story. This is something that we keep in mind with all of our projects. We want to use materials that are not only beautiful, but also have a story to tell. Materials like wood, stone, and concrete can really help to create a sense of place and history in a space. Of course, it's important to also consider the practicality of the materials. They need to be durable and easy to maintain, but we don't let that dictate our choices. We find that there is always a balance between beauty and practicality, and we want to find the perfect balance for each project. Another thing that stood out to me while visiting this home was the connection between the interior and exterior spaces. The architects did a great job of blurring the line between the two. There are huge sliding glass doors that open up the living room to the outdoors. The kitchen also opens up to the backyard. And this really creates a seamless flow between the two spaces. It feels like the indoors and outdoors are one. This is something that we try to keep in mind with all of our designs. We want to create spaces that feel open and inviting. Spaces that blur the line between the indoors and outdoors are so much more livable. They feel more connected to nature, and they allow us to enjoy the outdoors even when we re-inside. Finally, let's talk about the furniture and decor. This is an area where the architects really outdid themselves. The furniture is simple, clean, and elegant. It doesn't compete with the architecture, but instead complements it perfectly. There are a few statement pieces here and there, but for the most part, the furniture is fairly neutral. This allows the focus to stay on the architecture and the beautiful materials used throughout the house. We love this approach. It's something that we try to emulate in our own work. We want our furniture to enhance the space, not detract from it. It's important to remember that furniture and decor should be used intentionally. Every piece should have a purpose and contribute to the overall aesthetic of the space. By keeping things simple and elegant, you allow the space to breathe and the architecture to shine. Overall, the house is a masterclass in architectural minimalism. It's stripped down, raw and honest. But it's also warm and inviting. It's a place where you can feel at peace and connected to the natural world around you. We're so grateful to have had the opportunity to visit, and we hope that you've enjoyed seeing it through our eyes. What do you think? How would you describe this style of architecture? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about architectural minimalism, we've linked a few resources for you to explore further. Thanks for watching. See you next time.